Boynton Beach. We got an evaporator coil. I was going to start around 10 a.m. and I was like, oh, I know that attic's going to get hot. So I shot over here around 8:30. Got everything all pumped down. This coil was heavy, man. I don't know why the Rheem coils, they always like to make them so heavy, but it was pushing about 100 pounds. And if you look at this attic and where we had to bring that coil, the system's way over there. So I had to dive through, get everything through, the torches, and take this puppy apart. So it was only 3 years old, but the coil was, I mean, the leak must have happened like overnight. It must have just popped because I think I was here probably about a year ago. I was checking everything out. The pressures and everything were all set. So you have to figure with these newer refrigerants, if it's 150 pounds sitting in that coil at all times and it's constantly wet, there's not really too much. I mean, even if you had copper coils, they're still going to leak. But this was a nightmare trying to get this thing out. It was not easy. I was grateful that the attic I was able to stand up in. So I was able to get everything through. And then we end up having to go through the hatch in the middle of the house. I mean, right next to the door in the garage. Got the new one in, pushed everything in. I can't videotape showing you guys. Can't videotape doing that. So I brazed everything in, got this thing all nice and up to, so it don't leak. That's what I was trying to say. Sometimes I mix up my words, you know. You sit up in attics at 130 degrees, your brain don't fire right. It doesn't shoot the thoughts out. It like voice to thought. It's very difficult when you're that hot, you know what I mean? But we got this thing all set, looking good, and I cut it to the point where I could just push it right back into the coil to make my life nice and easy. Change the filter dryer, make sure all that's all set, and you have to change that every time you open up the system, no matter what. So it's like an oil filter for your air conditioner, and when you open up the system to air, that compressors can't pump air, and it would make non-contaminant. Pull the vacuum down, get everything all situated. There's the oil stain from the old coil. Very obvious. Put everything back together, put the insulation back on, make sure it's nice and tight. Check the drain, open up the valves ever so lightly. Charge the proper subcool, and we're all set.